Welcome back guys. So this is going to be the full review of Mi 11X. I have been using this phone for about 2 months now. I purchased it from Amazon India. Its price is around 30,000 rupees or around 406 US dollars. It is often available on sale at a price of around 28,000 rupees. On top of that, phone exchange offer is also available. Let me show you the SAR values for the Indian variant. For the head part, SAR value is 0.860 watt per kg. For the body part, it is 0.694 watt per kg. Now I'll quickly tell you its specification. Phone comes with Snapdragon 870 processor, which itself is an overclocked version of Snapdragon 865 processor. Prime core of Snapdragon 870 processor runs at 3.2 GHz. I've done gaming tests on Mi 11X. Snapdragon 870 processor in it does run the prime core at 3.2 GHz when the processor is pushed to its limits. The display of the device extends 6.67 inches diagonally, supports up to 120 Hz refresh rate, Full HD plus resolution. It's a Samsung E4 AMOLED dot display panel. E4 panels helps in lower power consumption. Its touch sampling rate is 360 Hz, very fast and fluid display. Now during its launch, the device suffered from ghost touch issue. But as of now, with the updated MIUI, there are no such issues on the phone. Well, at least on my retail unit. The display is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Even the backside is protected by Gorilla Glass 5. The phone also has an IP53 rating for dust and water resistance. This display supports MEMC technology. It helps in reducing the motion blur in low frame rate videos. This is done by inserting alternate interpolated frames to double the FPS. I'll be very honest with you guys, I did not notice much difference. It supports HDR10+, but it is an 8-bit panel only, so it won't be able to display the full range of colors in HDR content. Moving on to the camera section, it comes with an AI triple camera setup. First we have a 48 megapixel wide lens. It's a Sony IMX582 sensor with an aperture size of f1.8, lacks autofocus. Then we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor with an aperture size of f2.2. It also lacks any autofocus. It has a field of view of 119 degrees. Lastly, we have a 5 megapixel tele macro lens. It supports autofocus. Its range is from 3 cm to 7 cm. Its aperture size is f2.4. On the front, we have a 20 megapixel dot camera. Its aperture size is f2.5. It lacks any autofocus. Only electronic image stabilization is supported by the wide lens. The phone comes with a lithium polymer battery with a capacity of 4520 mAh. It supports 33 watt fast charging. The fast charger is included in the box. It supports Power Delivery 3. This is the 6GB RAM and 128GB ROM variant of the device, LPDDR5 RAM and UFS 3.1 based storage. My phone's color is Celestial Silver. 360-degree light sensors feature. The color of the content adjusts depending on the ambient lighting. Then we have an X-axis linear motor. I'll be very honest with you guys, I was disappointed by the haptics of this device. Not impressed by the intensity of the linear motor. The phone also comes with IR blaster. No notification LED. It supports Bluetooth 5.1. Wi-Fi 6 support is also available. Now the Indian variant only supports two 5G band, N77 and N78 sub 6. Now as of now, 5G is not commercially available. No one knows if these 5G bands will be supported in the future. This device is basically a rebranded version of Poco F3, but the Indian variant does not have NFC. Mi 11X does not have any 3.5mm port. It also does not support memory card. It supports up to 2 SIMs, no hybrid SIM card slot, has dual stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos support, triple microphone array for audio zoom. I tried recording many videos using this device and I have to say, the quality of the audio recorded by its microphones is very good. Fairly balanced audio with good noise reduction. Let me just quickly do the unboxing now. So first we have this plastic case, ejector pin. Then we have the manual and a silicone case. There's the phone. You will be getting this Type-C to 3.5mm adapter. Then we have the 33 watts fast charger and a Type-C to USB cable with an orange accent. Let me show you the specifications of the charger. Here you can see 11 volts, 3 ampere max, 33 watts. Here's the device. It is around 163 mm tall, around 76 mm wide, and thickness is around 7.8 mm. You can see the camera module protrusion. Let me just compare it with the protrusion of ROG Phone 5. This slight camera protrusion is enough for the device to rock when placed on a flat surface. I have to say the phone has a slim profile. Its weight is around 196 grams. It's not light by any means, but it is considerably lighter than phones like ROG Phone 5. Let me just compare them physically. As you can see, on the left side I have Mi 11X, on the right side I have ROG Phone 5. Mi 11X has plastic frames, Gorilla Glass 5 covering on the back side. Celestial silver variant is very beautiful. As you can see, the color changes depending on the angle of light bouncing on it. Here you can see Xiaomi is written, 5G, that's it. It definitely looks premium, but backside is prone to smudges. The device sits very nicely in the hand. The slim profile helps in the handling, but I'll be very honest with you guys, I think if I try to bend the device like this, it may just break into two pieces. Using the silicone case is highly recommended. It fits very nicely. The back side would also be not getting dirty. The phone still looks very beautiful. You can see the color changing depending on the angle of light. With this case, the charging port has a plastic covering. Proper cutout for the speaker grills at the bottom and at the top. Here's the 20 megapixel front camera. It's a very small dot and there is a reflective ring around it. The bezels of the phone are very small, I have to say. I hope the top bezel is observable. These are the side bezels. There's the bottom bezel. The phone also comes with a pre-applied screen guard. I hope it is visible from here, this corner. Now let me show you the ports, buttons, microphones and speakers of the device. On the right side we have the volume buttons. This is the power button. It is not recessed. It also doubles as the fingerprint sensor. At the bottom we have this speaker grill. This is the microphone, Type-C port. It supports USB 2.0. The phone does not support MHL via the Type-C port. This is the SIM card tray. Let me just open it. You can see I have already inserted the SIM. Other SIM can be placed on the back side. The left side is completely clean. Back side has a matte finish. Speaker grill at the top. It also houses an IR blaster and a microphone. The device also has a front facing speaker grill. It's very short in length. The actual top speaker is inside the phone. The sound comes out through the top speaker grill and the front speaker grill. The front speaker grill also works as the earpiece. Phone supports VO Wi-Fi for calling. Regarding the signal reception, it was very good. I did not face any issues of signal dropping. The received calls audio quality coming out through the front facing earpiece was very good, very clean. Lastly, we have the camera module. Third microphone is present here. This is the flash. Let me show you the display settings now. From here we can switch between the light mode and the dark mode. I'll just switch to the dark mode. Even with the dark mode enabled, the dot camera is visible due to the silver reflective ring around it. More dark mode options. The dark mode with some apps was not working properly. From here we can uncheck the apps in which we don't want the dark mode to work. For example, I have unchecked the Amazon app. As you can see, dark mode is not working in Amazon app even when the system-wide dark mode is enabled. Now I'll enable it even for Amazon. And now you can see dark mode has been enabled. Back to the display settings. Brightness level can be adjusted from here. Sunlight mode. Adjust brightness to strong ambient light when automatic brightness is off. Then we can enable the reading mode from here. We have these options, classic and paper. With the classic setting, switch to warmer colors to reduce the amount of blue light. Blue light is harmful for our eyes. A lot of monitors even come with blue light filters. During the night time, if you are reading, it is highly recommended you enable the reading mode. Paper mode is also available. Switch to warmer colors and add paper texture to backgrounds to reduce eye strain. Reading mode can be scheduled as well. I'll just disable it for the time being. Color scheme can be adjusted from here. By default it is set to vivid, recommended. Adjust colors based on the content displayed. With this color scheme there is a slight bluish tint. Temperature is on the cooler side. Colors are slightly saturated. Then we have the saturated color scheme. Always enhance colors. Then we have the original color profile. Restore standard color of screen content with color calibration. Now with this color profile there is a slight yellowish tint. Colors are on the warmer side. We also have the setting to enable adaptive colors. Adjust colors to ambient light. This setting is useful when you are outdoors. Color temperature can be adjusted from here, as you can see. We also have an advanced setting color scheme. Color gamut options. Let me show you these options. First we have enhanced, display all screen content in the widest color gamut possible. Then we have original, identify color gamut automatically through color calibration. Then we have P3, display all screen content in P3 color gamut. sRGB, display all screen content in sRGB color gamut. This can be adjusted from here. So a lot of display customization. The Samsung E4 AMOLED panel in Mi 11X is very impressive, I have to say. Considering it is just an 8-bit AMOLED panel, I'll just stick with the vivid profile. Works very nicely out of the box. Then we can adjust the refresh rate. We have only two options here, 60Hz and 120Hz. I mostly use 120Hz refresh rate setting, but even with this setting the refresh rate is not always locked at 120Hz. For example, if you are playing any video, the refresh rate will go down to 60Hz. Let me just demonstrate by opening YouTube. I'll be using MIUI frame rate monitor tools to show you the refresh rate and the FPS. So first let me just quickly show you how you can enable the frame rate monitor tools. For that we need to enable the developer options. Just go to settings, tap on about phone. Here you can see the MIUI version, it's global stable version 12.5.5 enhanced edition. This is the Android version. Security patch level is for the month of August 2021. In the 128GB ROM variant, you will be getting around 102GB storage out of the box. Let me show you all specs section. 6GB RAM. So this is the baseband version and this is the kernel version. Just for the sake of comparison, this is ROG Phone 5 and you can see Android security patch level on this device is for the month of September 2021, and people say ROG phones don't receive updates. Just go to the about phone section, continuously tap on the MIUI version until you see a message that you are a developer. Here it's showing me no need, you are already a developer. Then go back to settings, scroll down, then tap on additional settings, then tap on developer options. Just scroll down until you find the monitoring section, then tap on power monitor, then tap on start here under the frame rate monitor tool section. So this is the MIUI frame rate monitor tools. Here you can see the resolution of the screen, refresh rate of the device. I think this is the motherboard temperature. This may be the free RAM. So guys, on the left side I have Mi 11X, on the right side I have ROG Phone 5. Mi 11X refresh rate is set at 120Hz, ROG Phone 5's refresh rate is set at 144Hz. First I'll just play a video on Mi 11X, quality set to 480p, 30 fps. So as you can see guys, the video is playing, FPS here is around 30. Now let me just scroll through the UI. As you can see, FPS stays around 30. Now I'll just set the video quality to 60 fps. FPS should be changing to 60. Yeah, it changed to 60. Video is playing in 60 fps quality. Even when I am scrolling through the UI, FPS does not change to 120. Now let me just demonstrate the same thing on ROG Phone 5. This process on Mi 11X helps in conserving the battery. Quality set to 480p 30 fps. Here's the FPS counter. Let me play the video. getting 30 fps here, as you can see. Now let me just scroll through the user interface. As you can see, fps increased to 144. It's very smooth. Here fps is not locked. Let me set the quality to 60 fps. fps should be changing to 60 soon. Yeah, as you can see, when I scroll through the user interface, it changes to 144 as I have set the refresh rate of the device at 144 Hz. Back to the display settings, then we have AI image engine setting. From here you can enable the MEMC feature. With this feature enabled, it adds additional frames to videos to make content appear smooth and transition lively. This feature slightly increases power consumption. This feature works only when video toolbox is on. We can access the video toolbox from the special features setting. Just go back, scroll down in the settings section. Here you will find special features. There's the video toolbox setting. Just tap on it. Video toolbox enabled. To manage apps, just tap on manage video apps. If you want to enable the toolbox in YouTube, just check YouTube. Now let me start YouTube. This is the shortcut for the video toolbox section. Just swipe from the edge. Toolbox has opened up. You can see Dolby Atmos enabled. You can disable it from here if you want. Picture setting can be accessed from here. Enhanced animations enabled. You can also enable or disable enhanced contours. You can see the before and after effect. Then we have the style setting. From here you can access the SDR to HDR feature. As you can see, HDR, with this feature enabled, standard SDR content will be displayed in HDR. Let me demonstrate it. First I will show you the original style mode. As you can see, temperature is on the cooler side. Now let me just change it to HDR. I'll select HDR here. Difficult to show this on the camera, but I am noticing a difference. A lot of modes are present: vibrant, nostalgic, warm, B&W, cool, orange, metal, fade, robot, plush. Let me use the warm mode. Yeah, temperature is on the warmer side. So good to have all of these features. Back to the AI image engine setting, we also have AI HDR enhancement. You can enable or disable it from here. Process videos using HDR effects to bring out more detail in lighter and darker areas. Then we have the control center and status bar setting. With MIUI 12.5, the user interface is very similar to iOS. To access the control center, you need to swipe down from the top right edge, just like this. As you can see, this is the control center. Notification center has been separated from it. In order to access the notification center, we need to swipe down from the top left edge, just like this. To block any notification, just press and hold the notification. Uncheck allow from here. Restrict all notification from themes. OK. Blocked. Show connection speed setting. It will display your network speed. Show carrier when device is locked. Battery indicator, very important. These are the different options. With the second option, the battery percentage will be shown inside the battery icon. Then we have the notch settings, hide notch. These are the two options available: don't hide and hide without moving status bar. Now if you go back to the settings section, there is a dedicated setting for notifications and control center. Just open it. From here you can switch to the older style of notifications and control center. If you don't like the newer style, just tap on control center style. As you can see, old version. With the old version, we just need to pull down status bar to view toggles and notifications. As you can see, these are the quick toggles. We have 3 sections. This is the second section. This is the third section. Edit. At the end, we have more toggles. We can swap between the toggles. For example, I'll just include the open camera toggle. Just press and hold it and drop it inside here. Tap on done. There's a quick toggle. Then we have the always on display and lock screen. Let me just show you this. As you can see, I've been using it for a long time. It does not consume a lot of battery. You can access the setting from here. Sleep setting is also included here. I have selected to 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, the device will automatically turn off the display. From here, I have enabled this setting, launch camera. Double press the volume down button to open camera when the screen is locked. Let's try this out. Yeah, it worked. Camera opened up. The power button also works as a fingerprint sensor. It's blazing fast, I have to say. Let me just demonstrate it. Works almost every time. You can also use the front camera to unlock the device. It's not secure at all. Let me just demonstrate it. It's quick as well. So guys, now I will be measuring the lowest and the maximum brightness of Mi 11X and will be comparing them with ROG Phone 5. I have set the refresh rate of both of the devices at 120 Hz. First, I'll measure the lowest brightness of Mi 11X. Brightness level has been set to 0. Here brightness level has been set to 1%. So let's just measure this value. I have the lux meter. Reading comes out to be around 4 lux. Now I'll measure the lowest brightness for ROG Phone 5. You can see the brightness level has been set to lowest point. Completely white background, 1% brightness. Let's measure this value. Reading comes out to be around 6 lux. Now I'll measure the peak brightness of Mi 11X. Slider maxed out, white background, 100% brightness. Wow, it's very bright. Let's measure this value. The reading comes out to be around 585 lux. Now I'll measure the peak brightness of ROG Phone 5. Brightness slider maxed out, white background. I'll max out the brightness here. The reading comes out to be around 593 lux. So the panel of ROG Phone 5 is more bright than the panel of Mi 11X. Still, the difference is not that much. Both phones have very bright displays. Now I will be measuring the amplitude of the audio coming out from the speakers of Mi 11X and ROG Phone 5. We'll be comparing the value. Both have a stereo speaker setup. Now Mi 11X does not have a symmetrical stereo speaker setup. The bottom speaker is housed under this grill. At the top we have these grills, and this is the earpiece. It also serves as a secondary speaker. Let me just give you an example and max out the volume.
It is time to make your first kill.
Yeah, sound is coming out through here.
Weaker machines, but even a machine can kill a hunter.
Now I'll just block these grills.
You did well today, but you have much to learn. Tomorrow, we train again. What was that?
It does affect the quality of the sound.
That boy! The one running the brave trails!
Follow Aloy, quick!
That boy is in trouble now. Now I'll just block the earpiece.
What was that?
That boy! The one running the brave trails!
Follow Aloy, quick!
Interesting setup. So it seems the sound does come out through these small holes and also through the earpiece. Now let's just measure the amplitude of the audio. I have the sound level meter. We'll be measuring the amplitude in dBA. Let's play this song, Cartoon by NCS. Max out the volume.
I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
So the bottom speaker of Mi 11X has higher volume than the speaker at the top. For the bottom speaker, amplitude reached around 103 dBA. For the top speaker, amplitude reached around 95 dBA. Now let me run the same song on ROG Phone 5. I'll start from the same sequence. Outdoor mode has been enabled, maxed out the volume.
I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go.
Alright, speakers are very loud, I have to say. Amplitude reached to about 104 dBA. The way I am testing is not very scientific, but even with this I can surely say the speakers on ROG Phone 5 are louder than Mi 11X, and the audio is also far more symmetrical. I am not a fan of this design. Another thing to mention, when some media is playing at max volume, the phone does a decent job of suppressing the vibrations. For example, in Poco X3 Pro, this part vibrates so much, it's almost as if the back is going to crack. To be honest, the audio quality could have been better on Mi 11X, or maybe I'm just spoiled by the audio quality of ROG Phone 5. This is the DRM info for the device. Supported HDR taps, HDR10, HDR10 Plus and HLG. Supported refresh rate. This is interesting. Here it shows 60Hz, 90Hz and 120Hz refresh rates are supported. Wide one L1 support is available. This means you can stream Netflix, Amazon Prime videos in full HD. I have the Prime membership, so let me just demonstrate it. Playing Dark Knight using Amazon Prime, you can see the resolution 1080p. Now guys, my device does not have any black crush issue even when the refresh rate of the device is set at 120Hz and brightness level set to 0%. Let me just do that. So I've set the brightness level to 0%. I hope it is observable, no black crush. This movie is really very dark. I also did not encounter any ghost touch issue. If you encountered this issue earlier, it should have been fixed by the MIUI updates. So let me just play an HDR video on YouTube. This is the setting, 4K 60fps HDR. Brightness level has increased. Phone is struggling to capture it properly. Amazing quality. Now guys, on my unit, the brightness level does not randomly drops to 0%. I did my extreme gaming test where I continuously played games for around 2.5 hours with brightness level set at 100%. Even then the brightness level did not drop down to 0%. But this may still happen when the phone overheats. So if you have set the brightness level to 100%, make sure you are in a cooler environment. Let me show you the SIM cards and mobile network setting. From here you can select the default SIM card that you will be using for calling. You can also select the default SIM card that you will be using to use the mobile data. Now guys, regarding call recording, Mi 11X can record calls. Once you receive a call, on the second page of Call UI, there is an option to record the call. The caller will get a notification regarding the call recording. Then we have the connection and sharing setting. You can wirelessly cast the screen of Mi 11X to your external monitor. The thing is guys, wireless casting is not recommended for gaming. Input lag is noticeable. Unfortunately, Mi 11X does not support MHL, so you cannot use a Type-C to HDMI wire to mirror the display of Mi 11X to your monitor or TV. Then we have sound and vibration setting. Volume can be adjusted from here. Haptic settings are also available here. Just scroll down. vibrate while ringing, vibrate in silent mode. This can be enabled or disabled. Haptic feedback level can be adjusted from here. Even maxed out, I am not impressed by the intensity of the vibration motor. It's a very subdued response. Impact seems to be originating right here. At the bottom we have sound effect setting. Dolby Atmos can be enabled or disabled from here. We can access the preset from here: dynamic, video, music, voice. Graphic equalizer can be accessed from here. As you can see, here is the equalizer. Some common presets are already available. There is the equalizer: classic, rock, jazz, hip hop. Then we have privacy protection. From here we can get to know about the apps that have certain permissions. As you can see, let me check out the apps that have access to my microphone. So these are all of the apps that have access to my microphone. I can deny the permission. To deny the permission, just tap on any app. Now just select deny. We can also get to know about apps that have special permissions. All file access. These are the apps that have all file access: File Manager, Files by Google, Feedback. We can deny the access if we want. Then we have special features setting. These are the special features: Game Turbo, Video Toolbox, this has been discussed earlier, floating windows, second space and light mode. First let me just show you the light mode. Bigger icons, large text, less visual clutter. Let me just enable it. As you can see, the size of the icons has increased, even the text size has increased. Let me just disable the light mode. Back to normal. Then we have second space. It basically creates two partitions on a mobile phone. Each partition has its own set of applications and files. Any changes made to them won't affect the application and files present on the other partition. It's a good way of separating and securing your data. You can create the partition by tapping here. Since I have already created it, here it is showing go to second space. A switching shortcut for it will also be created on the home screen. Let me just show you this. Here's the switching shortcut. Just tap on it. It will switch to the other partition. As you can see, it is completely different from the other partition. I'll just switch back. You can very easily delete the partition. Just go to second space and tap on this delete icon here. Delete second space. Then we have floating windows. They have provided a tutorial for it. As you can see, press and hold and then pull down a notification to open it in a floating window. Tap floating windows in recents to select apps. So let's see how to open a floating window. Press and hold and then pull down. As you can see, moving on to the very useful Game Turbo mode. Yeah, these are the applications that have been added to Game Turbo mode. When you launch these applications, Game Turbo mode will be enabled by itself. To manually add any app or game, just tap on this plus icon here. Then just enable the toggle adjacent to the app. I'll enable GameSpeed Turbo mode for display tester. That's it. Now I'll just launch it. To access the GameSpeed Turbo mode interface, just swipe from the edge. You can see this white vertical line here. As you can see, we'll be using it during a gameplay in the later part of the video. It also shows the FPS counter. Here you can see the CPU and GPU usage. Now to access the settings, just tap on this icon here. So these are the Game Turbo settings. Performance mode setting, Wi-Fi optimization, optimized touch controls, increased touch response and sensitivity, enhance audio and reduce ambient noise in conversations. I have enabled the performance optimization setting. Enhance experience setting, we have these settings: turn off auto brightness, turn off reading mode. We can restrict buttons and full screen gestures while playing games. In the end, we have additional settings. These are game specific settings. Just select the game for which you want to tweak the settings. I'll select Free Fire Max. First we have gestures, classic mode selected by default. We have a pro mode. Then we have customize setting. We can increase or decrease the slider values for swipe response, sensitivity to continuous taps, aiming accuracy, tap stability. I'll just stick with classic mode. Then we have touch resistant area. Reduce touch sensitivity near the edges to avoid triggering touch controls. Hold your device by the highlighted areas to keep speakers uncovered. By default it is set to medium. Let me just set it to small. Touch resistant area decreased. Large. We can completely disable it if we want. As you can see, I'll stick with medium. Lastly, we have enhanced visuals. Increase contrast and enhance details for games. By default it is set to original. We can change it to moderate, strong, extreme. Colors have become very vibrant. It's up to you. I'll stick with the default settings. MIUI has a default screen recorder, as you can see. Let me just show you the settings for it. So when I tapped on it, this widget opened up. To access the setting, just tap on this icon here. First we have the resolution setting. So these are the resolution options available. 2400 by 1080 Full HD plus, 720p and 800 by 480 resolution. Video quality can also be adjusted. Look at the high bitrate available, 105 Mbps. Now this is going to consume a lot of storage. By default it is set to 16 Mbps. For Full HD plus 60 fps video recording, 24 Mbps video quality should be ideal. Sound source settings. Mute mic and system sounds. So if you want to record your commentary along with the game's audio, just select mic setting from here. Fixed frame rate setting enabled. These are the different frame rate options available. 15 fps, 24 fps, 30 fps, 48 fps, 60 fps. We cannot record videos in 120 fps mode. And these are the other settings. We can enable or disable these settings. Show touch gestures, visualize navigation buttons. To start the video recording, just tap on this red icon here. Timer started. To stop the video recording, just double tap on the red icon here. As you can see, while playing games, we can start the screen recorder via the game turbo mode interface. I'll show you that in the later part of the video. Now MIUI also has a local app store, Get Apps. There are certain apps that are not available on Play Store, like AnTuTu Benchmark app. You can just download it from here. I'll search for AnTuTu. As you can see, AnTuTu apps have popped up. Now let me just show you the MIUI security app. On Mi 11X, bloatware is minimal. I did not notice any ad. It is very easy to disable any ads on MIUI apps. Just access the settings. Scroll down. Make sure receive recommendation setting has been disabled. This is the security app. From here we can access the cleaner, security scan, battery, boost speed basically clears the cache, manage apps. From here we can uninstall the apps, deep clean. Using this we can find out the applications and files that are taking up a lot of storage space of our mobile phone. Let me start the cleaner app. That's it. Boost speed. Let's clear out the cache. Security scan is useful for scanning for some virus. Manage apps. We can access the updates, uninstall, find apps permissions from here as well. I'll just uninstall Netflix. Then we have deep clean. It's showing that apps are consuming around 15.45 GB. There is another section here, big files. These files are consuming around 37.47 GB, and you can see these files. These are basically my YouTube videos. I use Mi 11X to upload them. The individual video size is also shown here. Let me clean up some apps. I'll just uninstall Free Fire. So as you can see here guys, there are no ads. Then we have the battery settings. Here it will show you the estimated remaining time. Battery saver can be enabled or disabled from here. Ultra battery saver mode is also available here. For these modes we also have the quick toggles. As you can see, ultra battery saver mode, battery saver mode. Some battery issues will also be shown here. Let's see. Google Drive is draining battery. Here it will also give us some suggestions to improve the battery life. Lower screen refresh rate to 60 Hz. We can also get to know about the battery drain current for specific apps. Just scroll down. I have selected this time period and you can see the screen consumed around 322.32 mAh. This is for 2 hours and 51 minutes of screen on time. Different time periods can be accessed. Now guys, I have already done my extreme battery drain test. With maxed out brightness, I continuously played games for around 2.5 hours. After that, I continuously played full HD 60 fps videos for about 3 hours. Even after this, some battery capacity was remaining. I completely drained out the battery by recording 4K 30 fps videos. The battery lasted for around 6 hours and 30 minutes. It was a very impressive performance. Considering the physical battery capacity is around 4520 mAh. This performance was close to my ROG Phone 5. ROG Phone 5 has a battery capacity of around 6000 mAh. But then again, ROG Phone also has Snapdragon 888 processor. Using the 33 watt fast charger, I was able to fully charge the phone in about 63 minutes. The processor in Mi 11X hits its thermal limits when the surface temperature around the camera module is around 45 degrees Celsius. Now I will be showing you some synthetic benchmark scores. On the left side I have Mi 11X, on the right side I have ROG Phone 5. While conducting these benchmark tests, on Mi 11X, Game Speed Turbo mode was enabled, and on ROG Phone 5, Aero Active Cooler was attached to it and X Mode Plus level was enabled. Mi 11X has Snapdragon 870 processor and 6GB of RAM. ROG Phone 5 has Snapdragon 888 processor and 8GB of RAM. Overall score on Mi 11X was around 678,000 and on ROG Phone 5 it was around 806,000. Now the storage space left on Mi 11X was less than 25%, so it affected the storage performance. But CPU and GPU performance are the main parameters here. On Mi 11X, CPU score was around 192,000. On ROG Phone 5 it was around 208,000. Not a very big difference as you can see, but there is a very big difference between the GPU performance. On Mi 11X it was around 238,000. On ROG Phone 5 it was around 311,000. You can see the memory and UX scores. Then we have the Geekbench scores. On Mi 11X, single core score was around 972. On ROG Phone 5 it was around 1101. Multi-core score on Mi 11X was around 3313. On ROG Phone 5 it was around 3679. You can see the kernel version here for both of the devices. Then I ran the Android Bench test on both of the devices. Both of the devices have UFS 3.1 based storage. You can see the sequential read and write speeds on both of the devices. They were higher on ROG Phone 5. Even the random read and write speeds were higher on ROG Phone 5. Then I ran the CPU throttling test for 5 minutes on both of the devices. Here are the scores. On Mi 11X, average performance was around 211,000 GIPS. CPU throttled to around 95% of its max performance. On ROG Phone 5, the average score was around 261,000 GIPS. CPU throttled to around 94% of its max performance. Excellent performance on both of the devices. Both of the devices are recommended for gaming. Scores are pretty much what you would expect from these phones. You can see the max clock speed. On Mi 11X, it was around 3.18 GHz. On ROG Phone 5, it was around 2.84 GHz. The minimum scores on both of the devices were still on the higher side. So now I will be launching a game that has been added to Game Speed Turbo mode. I'll be opening the Game Speed Turbo mode interface. Just need to swipe from the edge. You can see interface opened up. Here you can see the CPU and GPU usage. This is the FPS counter. Name of the game. We can access certain apps from here: WhatsApp, Facebook, Internet. This icon is for screen recording. We can expand the interface. Enable disable Wi-Fi from here. Restrict the floating notifications by tapping on this icon here. You can see the message. I'll start the race. Now Real Racing 3 supports high refresh rates, but on Mi 11X FPS is capped at 60. To start the screen recording, just tap on this icon here. I'll stop the screen recording now. To open the gallery folder, just tap on the folder icon here. Here's the recording. So guys, this is Critical Ops, and here you can see it is running at 120 fps. Device does support high refresh rate gaming. Moving on to the camera section, this is the interface of MIUI camera app. First we have the photo section. 1x is the wide lens selected. To select the ultra wide lens, just tap on the left dot here. As you can see, 0.6x. To take a 2x zoom picture, just tap on the rightmost dot. As you can see, 2x digital zoom takes a crop straight from the center of the picture taken using the wide lens. We have a lot of features at the top. First we have flash, auto flash, flash enabled. We can switch on the camera's LED by tapping on this icon, as you can see. Then we have the toggle for enabling HDR, auto HDR, HDR disabled. Then we have the artificial intelligence feature, enable or disable. AI recognizes a subject and based on that sets the color profile for it. Then we have the beauty features. First we have the beautify mode, smoothen skin, there is the slider for it, increase or decrease. The beautify filter works for body, legs, head, slender, shoulders. I covered this part in my Poco X3 Pro review, it's exactly the same. Then we have some filters, normal, vivid, cool vibes, lime, gourmet, film, armor, movie, sky blue. Google Lens is integrated right in the interface, as you can see.
Tap the shutter button to search.
Alright, I'll take the picture. It should recognize RAW. Yeah, it recognized RAW Phone 5, as you can see. Works very nicely. To access the settings, just tap on these three lines here. First we have the different aspect ratios. 3:4 is selected by default. I'll select full, as you can see. I'll stick with 3:4. Then we can set the timer after which our picture will be clicked. There's the settings option. So first we have the watermark setting. We can enable or disable watermark. We can even set a custom watermark. We have the option to add timestamp on photos. HEIF format setting is also available here. High efficiency image file format saves storage space but isn't supported by third-party apps. You can't take live photos and remove watermarks in HEIF. Picture quality set to high. These are the other settings. You can assign certain features to the physical buttons of the device. This is the volume buttons function, shutter countdown. These are the different options available. Pressing and holding the shutter button records video. We can disable the shutter sound as well. Now in order to lock the focus and the exposure, we just need to press and hold on that part of the viewfinder where our subject is. I'll just lock them for X here. As you can see, the focus and exposure have been locked. We can increase or decrease the exposure via this slider. works very nicely. In order to unlock the focus and the exposure, just tap on any other part of the viewfinder. Now to switch to the front camera, just need to tap on the icon here. Beauty mode is available for the front camera as well. We can reset the effects and even clear them. This is the option for clearing them. There is the reset option. By default, the smoothing beauty filter is applied. There is the slider for it. Let me just showcase this. Maxing out the slider removes the freckles on the cheeks. You can see this area has been smoothened out. Then we have the slender beauty mode. Let's check this out. Yeah, it's thinning the cheeks. Then we have big eyes. What's this? Widening my eyes. Nose. Chin. We can also enable or disable HDR for the front camera. AI is also available. Moving on to the portrait section, we can access the filters by tapping on this icon here. As you can see, different filters. We can adjust the blur intensity by tapping on this icon here. You can see this area has been blurred out. Maxing it out reduces the blur intensity. AI can be enabled for portrait mode. Works very nicely for the front camera as well. As you can see, filters, blur intensity. Let's try it out. Blur has been reduced in the background. Yeah, the background is completely blurry. Then we have the video section. Mi 11X cannot record 4K 60 fps videos. The ultra wide lens cannot even record 60 fps video at full HD resolution. Let me show you the different video recording options: HD 30 fps, Full HD 30 fps, Full HD 60 fps, and lastly we have 4K 30 fps videos. We can access the video settings from here. Image stabilization setting can be enabled or disabled from here. The device does not have any OIS, only electronic image stabilization is available. Video encoder H.264 and H.265. Again, we can assign certain features to the physical buttons. Volume buttons function, shutter. They can be assigned to zoom. Even in the video mode, we can lock the focus and the exposure. Just need to press and hold on any part of the viewfinder. As you can see, now we can adjust the exposure. We also have this audio zoom feature. Let me just show you this. I'll enable it from here. Sounds from the subject in focus are enhanced. So let's say instead of this X, a sound source is present here and a song is playing. So all I need to do is just focus on this sound source. Now the mics will focus to capture the sound properly coming out from this source. AI can be enabled or disabled from here. We can access the macro lens from here as well. We have this movie frame setting. This is available even for the photo mode. Let me just show you this. You can see the black bars at the top and at the bottom. Then we have the filters, movie filters. A lot of filters are available. Beautify mode, as you can see, bokeh can be adjusted from here. Background has been blurred. I'll just reduce it to 0. Blur intensity has been reduced now. I'll just disable the beauty mode. If you want to enable the camera LED, you can do that from here. From here you can access the night mode, full 48 megapixel sensor, the pro mode, slow motion video recording, AI watermark, movie effects, dual video. Let me just show you this dual video feature. You can simultaneously record the video using the front camera and the back camera. Let me just record the video. Picture can also be taken while recording the videos. As you can see, there is the picture and there is the video. While recording the videos, picture can also be taken while recording the videos. I have recorded many gameplay videos using Mi 11X. The audio quality of its mics is very good, I have to say. It does a very good job of reducing background noise. Voice audio quality comes out to be very clean. Let me show you the Pro mode. Using this, you can manually adjust the white balance, focus, shutter speed, ISO, range is from 50 to 6400, EV, and lens can be accessed from here, macro, ultra wide, wide. You can also take images in RAW format. Just need to tap on these three lines here. There's the option to take RAW images, RAW. The Pro mode works even for video recording, as you can see. Using Mi 11X, we can record videos using the macro lens, ultra wide lens, and even the wide lens. These are the amplitude levels for our audio. As you can see, audio zoom feature is also available here. Now I will be showing you some photo and video samples. Regarding the videos, when I was recording videos in 4K 30fps mode, noise was noticeable under artificial lighting, especially when I was recording videos inside my house. While recording videos, the camera did a decent job of not overexposing small bright text under artificial lighting. This is usually the case when I am recording some gameplay videos using my different phones. For example, the FPS counter of Dolphin emulator is very small. It is shown at the top left corner of the screen and it is in blue color. Some of the phones struggle to capture it properly under artificial lighting, but Mi 11X does a decent job of capturing the FPS counter. Color of the FPS counter varies from Dolphin build to build, but you get the idea. Now I will be comparing camera image samples that I took from Mi 11X and ROG Phone 5. Mi 11X has Sony IMX582 sensor. The 48 megapixel main sensor uses 4-in-1 pixel binning technology to take pictures in a standard 12 megapixel resolution. ROG Phone 5 has a 64 megapixel Sony IMX686 sensor. So first I took a picture of my backyard using Mi 11X wide lens. I was not impressed by its quality at all. The picture came out to be very dull and gloomy. Colors were undersaturated. The dynamic range was below average. Under daylight condition, noise level was kept to low. Check out the dynamic range here. Details were lost. Same thing here. This area is mostly dark. Now let me just show you the same picture on ROG Phone 5. I compared these samples on my IPS monitor. Now guys, this is the same picture taken using ROG Phone 5 under the same daylight conditions. Big difference in dynamic range. This area is visible now. On Mi 11X, this area was darkened out. Same thing here. We can see the small leaves here. And the image looks very lively, I have to say. Look at this yellow color popping out here. The same leaf looks completely dead on Mi 11X. AI was disabled for both of the phones and HDR was set to auto. Let me show you the details for this image on Mi 11X. This is the resolution 4000 by 3000. Size is around 7.63 MB. So guys, these are the pictures that I took using the ultra wide lens of ROG Phone 5 and Mi 11X. There is a very big difference in terms of quality. The image on Mi 11X straight up looks very dull. Look at the poor dynamic range. Barely anything is visible here. And check out the same image on ROG Phone 5. I can even see the color of the wall. Details are decent on Mi 11X. Upon zooming in, noise is still kept to a low level. The dynamic range is very poor, I have to say. Not impressed by the performance of the ultra wide lens. So this is a picture that I took using the full 48 megapixel mode. I did not observe any improvement in the quality of the picture, but you can use this mode if you want to crop the image. Yeah, upon zooming in, there's the HD preview. Noise is kept to a low level. Even after zooming in by a lot, some details are preserved. So this is a picture that I took using the night mode. As you can see, the light source was not overexposed. The performance was just average. Most of the details were lost. Only those areas were highlighted that were illuminated by the light source. I was impressed by the quality of the 5 megapixel tele macro lens. It supports autofocus. It focused on the subject very easily and details came out to be very nice. Generally, the macro lens of phones in this price segment is of very bad quality, but that's not the case with Mi 11X. Moving on to the selfie camera, under artificial lighting, I noticed some noise in the background. Color quality was decent, mostly true to life. Level of detail was also very good. Another selfie picture. Against a bright background, the camera struggled to take a proper picture. There's the light source. Good quality of selfie picture with proper lighting condition. Skin tones were mostly natural. Good detail captured. The selfie camera also supports portrait mode. It did a decent job, but a few strands of hair were blurred out. This is an indoor image taken using the main lens. Image was slightly on the softer side. Colors were a bit dull. Skin tones were decent. Noise was also kept to a low level. It didn't capture the bird properly. It looks a bit fuzzy. This is the portrait shot taken using the main lens. The portrait mode did not blur out the background evenly. Upon zooming in, I just noticed here only half of this area was blurred, half of it is clearly visible. So something is not right with the portrait mode of Mi 11X even with MIUI global stable version 12.5.5. Hopefully Xiaomi fixes it soon. Upon closer inspection, some strands of hair were blurred out. These are the details for the 48 megapixel image. Resolution is around 8000 by 6000 pixels. Size is around 25 MB. Now I will be showing you some video samples. Before that, I'll give you information regarding the audio and bit rates of the videos. For 4K 30 fps video recording, data rate is around 50,197 kbps. Audio is recorded in stereo mode. Audio bitrate is around 321 kbps. Both the front and rear main camera supports Full HD 60 fps recording. For the rear camera, data rate is around 20,099 kbps. Audio rate is around 316 kbps. For the front camera, data rate is around 20,294 kbps and the audio rate is around 318 kbps. So guys, I am recording this video using the front camera of Mi 11X, just walking around the house. The video is being recorded in Full HD 60 fps mode. Now I am outside. Struggling to capture the face properly against a bright background. Audio is being recorded using the internal mic of Mi 11X. So guys, I am recording Full HD 60 fps video using the 48 megapixel camera of Mi 11X. Audio is recorded using the internal mic of Mi 11X. Just walking around the house. Now I am outside. The phone does not have any OIS, it only has EIS. I'll just shake the phone now. Hold it still. Now I am recording the video using the main camera in 4K 30 fps mode. Let me just go outside. I'll just shake the phone. Now hold it still. Time to wrap it up. In the end, I definitely recommend Mi 11X. It has a very good quality screen, high refresh rate, Samsung E4 AMOLED panel, very good battery life, excellent gaming performance. With the latest MIUI update, no ghost touch issue is present now. But the cameras are not of good quality at all, especially the ultra wide camera. Only the macro camera seem to be of any good use. The main camera takes very dull images with average dynamic range. It's a shame that the device does not have any 3.5mm port. It also does not support memory card. Mi 11X does support 5G, but only 2 bands. The popular N78 band is supported. If gaming is your priority and you want a high performance device at an affordable price at the cost of camera quality, then you can definitely go with Mi 11X. So guys, I'll end the video here. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.